Good afternoon. I'm Susan Shapiro. A Berks County man is on trial in Dauphin County for murder and rape. Travis Collins of Kempton is accused of the beating death of Ashley Sarrazin in 2023 at the Harrisburg Hilton. Harrisburg police say they found Collins with blood on his hands. They say they punched Sarrazin in the face several times and strangled her after he says he caught her going through his wallet. Jury selection is underway. Right now, Derry Township police are looking for a man they say stabbed two people yesterday morning. An arrest warrant is out for 28-year-old Edward McDowell of York. They say he stabbed a 43-year-old man in the forehead while he was asleep and cut a 29-year-old woman's hand while she tried to get in between McDowell and the man.
They're both very fortunate, obviously, and by whatever means, they were both able to come out of it with wounds that are not life-threatening, and like I said, are very fortunate to just have those wounds.
Following the arson attack at the governor's residence and two attacks against lawmakers in Minnesota, one Pennsylvania representative says he wants to change how lawmakers are protected. Representative Greg Scott, a Democrat who serves part of Montgomery County, says he wants to create a Capitol Police Board and give it the jurisdiction over the state capitol. The Capitol Police serve under the jurisdiction of the governor right now. Scott says this would be in line with Washington, D.C. He also wants to exempt lawmakers' home addresses from public access under right-to-know laws. Scott says he will introduce those bills soon. New at noon, Kilmar Abrego Garcia surrendered to immigration authorities in Baltimore this morning and faces possible deportation by the Trump administration to Uganda. NBC's Gary Grumbach has more from Baltimore.
Kilmar Abrego Garcia has been taken into ICE custody in the building behind me during an ICE check-in that he had this morning just before 8 a.m. His attorney, Simon Sandoval-Motionberg, came out shortly after the meeting and explained that during the meeting, they asked why he was being detained. They got no answer. They asked if they were going to be able to get paperwork about his detainment. They got no commitment on that. They asked where he was being sent to, what detention center. They got no answer on that. But there were several points in terms of what the deal could have been, this plea deal between Kilmar Abrego Garcia and the Department of Justice. Several different options here that seemed to be on the table at the beginning of the day. First was he would plead guilty to the federal charges against him in Tennessee and then be deported to Costa Rica after serving a sentence. The second option was to be deported to Uganda as soon as Wednesday. And the third option, which it seems most likely that his attorneys are heading towards, is to fight the deportation to Uganda to ensure he has a due process before he's deported anywhere out of the U.S. Back to you.
The National Guard troops deployed in Washington are now armed while patrolling the nation's capital. A Defense Department official says many will be carrying pistols, but a small number have rifles. The DoD authorized the weapons for self-protection of the Guard members. And National Guard members could soon deploy to Chicago against the will of state and local leaders there. President Trump says he's worried about crime. Amy Kiley reports on what might unfold in the Windy City.
It's an offense to the sovereignty of states.
Democrats in Illinois say they'll sue if President Donald Trump deploys National Guard members to Chicago over their objections. Two officials confirm he's considering that option to expand his crackdown on crime and illegal immigration.
The Posse Comitatus Act limits the ability for the president to federalize the National Guard. We don't have a foreign invasion. We don't have a rebellion.
It's unclear how many troops he might send and when. City statistics show violent crime is down by double digits in Chicago. But Trump says locals want his involvement.
Chicago's a mess. You have an incompetent mayor, grossly incompetent, and we'll straighten that one out probably next.
Critics say troops aren't trained in policing and shouldn't face off with American citizens.
We're not opposed to that ongoing partnership with those who are trained to deal with crime.
Meanwhile, Guard members in Washington now carry firearms, according to a mission spokesperson. Sources say a Chicago deployment would be more like the one in Los Angeles during protests earlier this year. California is still suing over that. Trump supporters say that's the wrong reaction.
The Democrats there don't want Donald Trump to come in and clean up all their messes. It makes them look terrible. But I'm certain the residents would love to have less violent crime.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.